Good morning, everybody. This is AL Thick Madame, and I thought since I haven't done a thoughts post in quite a while that I would do one. There has been a whole lot of stuff going on in the world, and the stuff I just saw this morning, that alone is just like, okay, this is really doing too much, y'all. I cannot. So I'm gonna get started. So this particular stuff that's going on now, the tea, or shall I say wine. First off, before I even get started, I want to give a shout out to Tasha K. And if you don't know who she is by now, you missing out. You should know who she is, because a lot of the stuff y'all know about that's going on in the world, she was the one who released it first. And then TMZ and other people would pick up on it. Like, she is really out here in these streets when it comes to journalism. So, I mean, a lot of people don't like her for whatever reason, but I've been following her for quite some time. I actually finally subscribed to her, I don't know how long ago, but before I subscribed, I would just look, and every single time she would post something, I would somehow scroll long enough, and then it would suggest that I watch it, and I'm like, okay. And, you know, I don't 100% agree with everything she says all the time, but a lot of the time I'm just like, wow. And stuff ends up being what it is because she has a lot of great sources. So let's delve right on into this video. So I don't know if y'all have heard anything about this yet. She dropped her interview. I don't know when she did the interview, but she had already told us that she was going to do the interview as an exclusive interview, but she didn't say who it was going to be about and all that stuff, like the specifics as far as who she actually was going to interview. But this interview was about Wendy Williams' husband. The person who she was interviewing is, I don't know if y'all heard of him before. His name is Avion Falstar, Falstar. And a lot of people first saw him when he went viral after he did a little ditty of a Brian McKnight song on Wendy Williams' show. But what's going on is he's on Tasha K's show doing an interview with her, and he's there with his wife, and he's actually telling information about how, you know, they met and all this other stuff. And ultimately, he became Kelvin's boy toy. Yes, sex was going on outside of the business. I mean, when I tell you the details were so, I was just like, oh my, like I really was sitting there like, oh, wait a minute, I'm tired, this is too much already. And I really sat here and watched the whole thing, surprised that I was able to get through it. But yeah, it was all too much, y'all. I was so tired in my spirit. And the guy was just like, you know, he said what a lot of the different things were that happened sexually with him. He explained how they met, how they actually met up, because outside of Wendy Williams' show, somebody told Kevin that they needed to see him and, you know, how great he was, and so he could get signed and all this other stuff. And at first he wasn't really interested in that, and he actually has ties to the side chick, Sharina, or whatever her name is, and if I'm not mistaken, Kelvin, or whatever he want to call himself, Wendy's husband, he has purchased the condo or has given money towards the condo that this man lives in as well, and he has actually hung out with the two of them. And the guy actually says that Wendy's husband would split his time like within a day. He would spend like 12 hours with him and 12 hours with her. And like most recently, things that have gone down were like 2018. I don't know if anything happened this year, but it was still pretty recent. And, you know, he was just like, ultimately, he needs to come on out and just say he's gay, bi, or whatever, because he wasn't even trying to go down that road with him. He didn't even think anything of him like that. And then it just got to a point where Avion was just like, well, dang, maybe this is what I got to do in order to get on. And it just got to a point where Kevin would show up to have sex with him. And he talked about how small Kevin was. He talked about how the sex was so fast to the point where he could not even get an erection. And they would perform fellatio on one another. And instead of Kevin honoring his contracts with him, he would send over like a couple of $100 here and there and buy him like little outfits instead of actually being like, okay, I'm going to honor your contract like I said I was going to do. And, you know, you wouldn't have to worry about supporting your family. Because I think I said at the beginning of this video, this man actually has a wife now. They're newlyweds and they're in an open marriage. I'm sorry, I don't understand. Don't understand that. I don't understand. I mean, this is my personal opinion. I'm not trying to bash anybody who does this, whether they are just boyfriend and girlfriend or girlfriend, boyfriend. I don't understand having threesomes and having open relationships. I feel like if you just want to be out here like that, you might as well just be single and just say, oh, I want to swing from this tree to that tree and do all these things. I just don't understand what is the point of getting married and having paperwork on one another if you're going to bring other people into your situation, whether they themselves are married as well or not. Because a lot of people love saying the marriage bed is undefiled. The bed of marriage is undefiled. Love trying to quote that, but at the same time, you're not even supposed to do all of that. And I mean, a lot of us do things that are not of God, but I'm just saying, if we're talking about that in specifics, that's still not something that you're supposed to do, no matter how you try to word it through any type of a Bible verse. I don't care what you say, it's just not. God did not say, yeah, you need to do this. Yes, I understand what was outlined in the Bible about all these people having concubines, millions of wives, and all this other stuff. But y'all are talking about the Old Testament. How about the New Testament? How about what actually is supposed to be? If you're actually going to follow the law as far as the Bible is concerned, you're just supposed to be with the person that you are with. One person. From what my understanding is, maybe my understanding of the Bible as far as that is concerned is flawed, and I will accept that. I am very open to people teaching me what I need to know as far as that is concerned. I'm that type of person anyway. I question a lot of things. I come to ministers, prophets, whoever, whatever you want to call yourselves, pastors, and I will ask them with the quickness what something means, because my interpretation might not be there at all because I can't even fully understand what they're trying to say, or I feel like the meaning can mean, it could just have so many meanings, and I want to know which one is what it is. So, you know, it's just too much. When I tell you it's just too much, it is too much as far as this situation is concerned. Like I said, old dude said that Kevin needs to just come on out and just say, yeah, I'm gay, and or bye, or whatever he want to say. I like men sometimes, something like that, because one of the accounts, not even one, I mean, he specifically said that there was a time that Kevin came over and he basically would have moments where he would basically rape him. And he was asked to explain that. But anyway, within that moment, he came over there and would perform anal sex on the guy and would finish within 30 seconds. And like I said, the guy said he never even had a chance to get an erection and all this other stuff. And it was just, y'all, I'm just tired. I was just like, what in the world is going on? I just can't. I cannot. It's just really too much. And it's like, really? And like I said, I don't know the exact date that Tasha K did the interview, but she had already told us the interview. I think she said that she was doing the interview Monday, and she didn't know when she was going to edit it and release it. I might have that wrong, but she does have videos, a couple of videos, or one of those little things they have on YouTube now where you can click on it, and it's kind of like a write-up and a picture, if at all possible, if not just a write-up of what she's saying she's going to do. And I know at one point in time she did a mini video, outlining and just letting us know she's gonna drop some videos. But yeah, y'all, this is too much. And I'm just telling y'all what the dude said. I don't know if it was really something that was going on because I wasn't there. But if it was, it's just like, wow. And I don't know if Wendy knew about this. I'm not trying to say she was an angel and she never cheated or whatever. I'm just saying, like, they've been together for a really long time and this is all too much. He done had that specific side chick for 10 years at the absolute least, and they had a house up the street that he paid for. I mean, it's just, I'm glad that Wendy is getting a divorce, and I hope that this doesn't ultimately kill her, because there are a lot of people who really do keel over from stuff like this because their heart cannot take it. That their heart cannot take it. It's something that really puts a terrible strain literally on their heart, and they will die from this. So I'm really hoping that she is currently seeking some sort of therapy and that she'll be able to bounce back from this, whether she's alone or eventually she'll just have somebody she talk to from time to time, hang out with, just a random companion, not necessarily another husband, wife, or whatever she want to end up being with. So yeah, that's about all I got on there for right now, but yeah, it's all too much. So a few days ago, they had Nipsey Hussle's funeral and or memorial, I think the funeral as well. And they televised it on BET and had it streaming and all that other stuff. I have not seen it. I do plan on watching it because I wanted to see Anthony Hamilton and other people. My friend told me that Anthony Hamilton didn't do as great as she thought he would do because she lives for him and she's actually seen him live before. So I was just like, and I mean, I'm not trying to read, and y'all see my karaoke segment. I cannot sing. I already know that. I admit that I can't sing. But like I said before, I love Anthony Hamilton. But it's gotten to a point now where it seems like his backup singers are doing way more than he's doing. And I see why they have like little solo projects and their own little projects on the side, you know, making their other money whenever they're not with him. But their voices are amazing. There are times that all of them, including him, will get together and I'm just like, how are you the main artist and they're behind you? I don't know what it is. Sometimes it just seems like, whoa, what's going on? But anyway, I just want to see what happened with the different acts because like I told y'all before, I love music. I was not a fan of his, not to say that I thought he was a terrible person or anything. I just never was a fan. In all honesty, when I first heard of him, I was like, Nipsey Hussle. And I thought that it was him, the name itself. I was like, did he create this name from the Martin Lawrence TV show or what? Like that literally was my first thought. And then I thought nothing else of him. And then I heard about him again. And I was like, well, let me go listen to the music because everybody trying to act like he everything. And I went and listened to it and it's not really my cup of tea, at least from the songs that I've heard. So I'm not going to be one of those people who follows the crowd because everybody else living for a song and now I need to live for it. And I'm about to discuss some about that in a moment. I'm glad that I said that because it just reminded me of that and I can't. But, you know, and I didn't like it. It wasn't my cup of tea. So I went on about my business again. But every time I did hear about him outside of the music industry, it was always good. The only negative that I ever could think of or that I ever saw about him was that he was an, I hope, ex-Crip member. And something amazing that came out of his death was, well, actually a few things. One of the things that I think is very much so amazing is that the Crips and the Bloods have decided to call a truce after, 27 years of beefing and killing and all this other stuff, all because of that. Now, I don't know if it's all of them or if it's just the ones that's in California, but hopefully it's all of them. And in all honesty, when I was in college, there was this white guy, and I'm saying white guy specifically because I went to Alabama State University, which most of us there are black. But anyway, this random white guy was there and he proclaimed to be this gang member. And myself and almost my whole class bust out laughing. Like, are you serious? Is that even a thing anymore? Like, I hadn't seen a gang member, like an active gang member or anybody in a gang, like literally out here with red on, with black on, or with blue on, claiming to be a Crip, a Blood, or Folk. Those were the main ones that was around my city. Since I was in the 7th and 8th grade, it seemed like everybody else was like, yeah, the street life ain't for us. And if we are going to be a part of street life, it's just going to be drugs. And that's it. It wasn't, you know, oh, I'm a Crip. And I'm out here learning this rule book. Like, I've literally seen a girl who I used to be friends with. I don't want to say what her name is. Her name is beautiful, but I don't want to, you know, say what it is. But she was aspiring to be, was it Crip? Pyroot? Something. And she had this rule book that had been written out, and she literally was learning all this stuff. This guy who she wanted to date, she was one of these people that she'll just try anything. She was with a girl from time to time. She was with guys from time to time. I think now she actually is married to a man, and she has like at least a son from what I've seen, because we don't keep in contact anymore. You know how things go. We were really young and we lost contact. I think when she got pregnant, she kind of went off the radar. So a lot of us haven't seen her because we don't run in the same circles anymore. And of course, I don't live in Alabama anymore. So, but anyway, she had a rule book, and I looked and I was like, what are you doing? And she was like, I'm learning all that. I forgot. I think it's a certain name you call it and all that. But anyway, she was learning all this stuff. She knew all the actual sign language. I know what the normal sign languages are for these groups. And I was just like, okay, I don't see the point. But there are people really out here trying to do all this stuff. And I'm just like, okay, I get what it was about back in the day. But nowadays, I'm just like, you can go somewhere and be very constructive. I don't see the point in you doing these things. Yes, there are people out here who have been kicked out of their homes. Their parents are worth nothing, and they need guidance. So I feel like there should be people out there who see this happening and can, you know, guide them in the right direction, even if it's not into their home. Because I know a lot of people have literally joined gangs because they didn't have a home. And they were like, oh, I'm willing to, you know, get beat up, get jumped in order to have somewhere to stay. And I just do whatever I got to do to prove to them so I can still have somewhere to stay. And like, that is how crazy this world is. I got to do something crazy like this in order to have a place to stay, because whatever the situation is going on at home with me and my family. But anyway, I digress, y'all. I have heard that Nipsey Hussle has done a lot for his community, stayed in his community doing stuff. Like, I always would hear stuff about him. I was like, oh, okay, that's good, that's cool, you know, whatever. And I mean, I was never mean about it. And then, time passed, and I heard about him and Lauren London being together. I was like, oh, she has a type. Oh, okay. And I didn't know if it was really real like that, but then it seemed like it was, and she got pregnant and all this other stuff. The last thing I remembered hearing about him was when he was talking about doing this documentary surrounding some stuff that he found out from Dr. Sebi. If you don't know who Dr. Sebi is by now, you have to have been living under a rock. And a lot of people found out about him through Nipsey Hussle passing away. Not from him initially starting to do this documentary or trying to do this documentary, which was like a year or two ago when he first announced it, I think. It was literally because this man just died like a week or two ago. And then they found out about it and they were like, oh, I'm going to do this. I'm turning over a new leaf because of him. I'm going to do what he did because of what he said this man did. But y'all, I don't even want to get into that because that's a whole nother demon dealing with Dr. Sebi's death and all that stuff. You know what I'm saying? I don't even want to go into that. But yeah, I can acknowledge that I was thoroughly impressed with his active role within his community. That is amazing. And I commended him for that way before he passed away. So when he passed away, before he passed away, when I heard he got shot 6 to 8 times, I was just like, whoo, he might not make it. But then I was like, okay, we have people like 50 Cent out here, 50 Cent, who got shot, what, 9 times? We got people out here like, I don't know if y'all heard of him, but Chaotic, this dude in Miami, who got shot, I don't know how many times. I think he got shot more times than that. He lived, and he's alive, and he doesn't seem to have any type of ailments going on. But apparently, when Nipsey Hussle got killed, he, you know, was shot in the head at some point as well. So he had very little chance to live anyway. So definitely rest in peace to his soul. I am terribly sorry for the fact that his children are going to have to live and grow up without their father. And Lauren London is going to be without her child's father and the other children as well. So definitely rest in peace to him. All right, y'all. So I'm gonna segue into something that's a little bit less heavy. I gotta find it because I don't even know the name of it. I don't even want to sit up here and perpetrate like I know the name of it because that's how much I don't even care. Hold on. Okay, so it's so sad that I couldn't even think of what the rapper's name is, that I had to look up the country singer's name in order to find what I was talking about. Y'all already know what I'm about to say now because I just said that. So I had to look up Billy Ray Cyrus in order to find the song because I knew that was going to pop up instantly because it's so popular at this moment. So I'm sorry, I don't understand everybody's fascination with this Old Town Road song. Like I said before, I love country music. Like I really do love country music. But this little country twang or whatever that he trying to do, what's this guy, Lil Nas X? I can't do it. I can't. And everybody have been making memes like crazy. People have been really doing parody videos. People have really been out here like trying to make a whole movement from this one random song. Granted, the song has been like trending to the point where it has gotten up to like number 2 or something on one of them Billboard Awards. And it's crazy because the Country Music Association wants nothing to do with it and they don't even want to recognize it as a country song. I was like, oh, okay, I get that. But it's just crazy, y'all. I just can't. For me, I really can't. I cannot get down with this song, and I really have tried. Like, I've laughed because what's the dude? Call Me Choco. I live for him, but I knew he was gonna do some kind of video associated with this song because a lot of times when he does the little dancing and stuff, he already have on the boots. He already has on cowboy hats and the tight pants and all that. So I already knew something was coming from him. And apparently what happened was before this remix came out, he did a little dance to it from the original song, because I guess the original song has some kind of country twang. And there have been people who have dubbed over that, or whatever you want to call it, over that, and have put the new song with it. And I'm just like, wow, y'all doing the most. But I can't get with it. Y'all let me know down in the comment section. Do y'all care about this song? Do y'all live for this song? Because I can't. I cannot do it. I don't know what it is. Like, I just can't do it. I'm not here for it at all. I'm just not. And I really tried to be. I was like, maybe, you know, because there actually have been songs that I have had to hear over and over again to be like, okay, yeah, I like it a little bit. But anyway, like I said, y'all let me know down in the comment section what y'all think about that song. So even though I am not a fan, and I already know I'm gonna get chewed out for this and I don't really care, I am not a fan of LeBron James. He indeed made good on his promise to create this school, and you know, in I think Akron, Ohio, somewhere in Ohio. And he did that, right? And he was just like, look, we have people who we need the kids to improve their grades. So apparently they have improved their grades. So, you know, kudos to you, LeBron James, for coming through and making good on your promise to actually create this school. This is one of the things that I do actually like about you. And I'm glad that you did keep your promise as far as that is concerned. Unlike other people that people love to glorify, like Umar Johnson. This man has been scamming people for years. There are people who have receipts right in front of them that refuse to read them and continue to donate to him. I just don't understand. That man said he was going to do all these things, all kinds of stuff with money for schools. He ain't did that yet. The first brick ain't been bought. He ain't did nothing, and he ain't going to do nothing but keep extorting people until y'all continue to fund him to continue to go and get degree after degree after degree. I don't understand when people will actually learn, but that is ridiculous. I don't get it. I don't get stuff like that. So yeah, y'all. Let me see. I have been posting things on my social media, as far as Facebook is concerned, that I do things that are like funny that I want to talk to my friends and family about or whatever. And, you know, at this point, I don't feel like my platform is big enough on here for me to share my information. As far as that is concerned, now if it gets big enough, I will share it so y'all will know what my information is, and I will allow you to follow me and all that other good stuff on Facebook, Instagram, all that stuff. I don't even post on Instagram like I told people before. I seriously only have it for contests purposes. I don't get on there and talk to people, and I don't have the function to get into a DM. So if anybody's ever sent me anything, I don't even know what it is and when you sent it or how to even get to it. Anyway, y'all, so something else I want to discuss. I'm glad I scrolled down. I have to actually finish watching it because I started right before while I was getting ready for work yesterday. Y'all, did y'all see the Breakfast Club interview with Soul For Real? If you don't know who Soul For Real is, how dare you, unless you are way younger than me. But a lot of y'all actually probably do know who they are because Jacquees, whatever his name is, was out here stealing their song like everybody else's song. One of their top hit-making songs was this. Have you ever loved someone so much you thought you died, giving so much of yourself? It seems the only way. Tell me what you want and I will give it to you. 'Cause you are my love. Do you ever dream of candy-coated raindrops? You're missing my candy rain. And y'all, one of their underrated songs that I live for, where it didn't have like the youngest member of the group leading it. I think the oldest one, I think they brothers, y'all. But anyway, the oldest one was singing this song. Y'all, that song was everything. And when I had a moment and I was like, let me listen to some of my older music that I grew up on, and this came up, I was like, wait a minute, let me download this before I forget it. And I listen to it all the time. Y'all, I think it's called Every Little Thing I Do, Every Little Thing I Do or something like that. Anyway, can't you see what you do to me? I think about you all the time. My mind is hazy and I think are getting crazy over you. Let's not waste any time. Every little thing I do, you're on my mind. The way I feel lately is driving me crazy. Telling y'all, the song is everything. But anyway, like I said, Soul For Real, they were doing an interview on the Breakfast Club. And when I saw my little suggestion, because I'm subscribed to their page on YouTube, I was like, wait a minute, excuse me. And I didn't see it when I was supposed to see it. What happened was TMZ or somebody said something about a specific thing they said in the interview, which was that Heavy D's death might have been karma, I guess, for the way that he treated them, which was dirty. And I was like, excuse me, what you mean? What's going on? Y'all, so the little bit of the interview that I did see, they were talking and they were saying that, you know, they felt as though they were one of the last real like groups that were out, meaning that, you know, nowadays you don't really see like whole groups like them, New Edition and all that. You might see like two girls together and then they do one good song together, and then they done went solo, and then you don't see them no more. Like people who really live for them, and the songs are so good that when it come on, everybody go crazy. Like everybody live for soul for real, even if they don't even know them like that. They live for the music. So, y'all, I was just like, oh Lord. So apparently it's like, I don't know if y'all knew it or not, but the company that they were trying to get signed through, or they did get signed through, everything got dissolved. Andre Harrell, or however you say his name, he was like over like Arista or whatever it was. Y'all, I'm sorry if I'm saying the wrong thing. I'm not trying to. But anyway, he was over one of the music companies or a big affiliate of it or whatever. Like he was high up there. And he had to go through Andre. And, you know, it was just a whole to do, to the point of where things did not pan out well for them. And because of the time that they came out, there was not promotion like it should have been. They didn't have social media to back up what was being said and to promote and, you know, really get their name out there like that. So they went downhill fast, and things that were promised to them did not happen, and they fell through the cracks. Then when he passed away, it's like that made it even worse, because it was like, wow. You know what I'm saying? Some of them like tried to go like solo or whatever, if I'm not mistaken. And, you know, stuff still didn't really pan out that well for them. And I gotta watch the rest of the interview, but yeah, y'all, go ahead and watch that Breakfast Club interview with Soul for Real. Because I was sitting up there clutching my pearls. I was real tired, like, oh my gosh. But anyway, y'all, let me scroll down a little bit more and see what else I put up here, because I was posting all kinds of stuff. Because I've seen a lot of things, and I was just like, oh my gosh. Y'all, okay, this is very sad. If you're a Walmart employee, kudos to you. I like Walmart. Well, I like specific location, let me say that. I heard that they don't, you know, really treat them the way they should. And there are moments, like especially during the holidays, that the employees themselves get baskets and stuff together, or they have, depending on the store, I guess it varies from store to store, where they will have like little stuff set up because the money isn't what it needs to be in order for them to support themselves and or their families. And it's like, wow, I gotta get canned good donations and all this stuff from my coworkers because my job ain't paying me enough. Like, that's how crazy it is. But anyway, y'all, robot janitors will be added to nearly 2,000 locations of Walmart sooner than later. And I'm just like, okay, this is too much. And so even my mama was like, are you serious? They're really over here trying to get rid of workers. And I'm like, yeah, but the reason why, y'all, they talking about they want the workers, actual like live humans like me and you, to be like more sociable and to talk with the customers. And I'm looking like, I don't come to Walmart to have a conversation with y'all. I come to Walmart to come get my food, my sometimes certain toiletries and certain clothing items or whatever. And it's like, and certain hair products. It's like, what are you talking about? What are you talking about? They're talking about they want the employees to be able to spend more time with. I come to Walmart. This is stupid to me. For you to sit up here and cut people's jobs because you talking about you want them, the employees, to spend more time with them. There are times I come in there, I don't even want to see them. I will go straight to self-checkout if at all possible. But then I get mad. See, I'm the type of person that when I go to Walmart, I prefer to go early in the morning or in the middle of the night, you know, if you will, after 12 a.m., nighttime, dark outside. Ain't nobody in there. And I could go in there, take my time. I will go up and down every single aisle, all over the store, the super centers now. I will go everywhere, look at stuff I ain't know was up in there, stuff I ain't know I wanted to look at. I mean, like, depending on how I feel, I do stuff like that. Or there are times I want to just run in and run out and I don't have to worry about a crowd. But my issue has become the location that is closest to my job. When I do this, they'll sit up here and won't have the self-checkout open. I think the self-checkout opens at like 6 a.m. at that location. I don't know if this is for all locations or what, but they have two sides to self-checkout. They have one on the, they basically have one on each side of the store and then all the regular registers in the middle. Cool, fine. But the regular self-checkout that's on the food side of Walmart, they're supposed to have that open and ready for customers to check out in if they want to by 6. So the person is supposed to start going to each little kiosk and getting that ready. And there have been times I've literally been like, okay, what is wrong with these people? And like on purpose, there are times that I will get there at 6 so that I can get to work at 7, even though my job ain't but 5 to 10 minutes away. Because I'll run in, get some toiletries or whatever I'm running in and get, and then I'm going straight to self-checkout. And I'm like, okay, what is the problem? And I'm like, it's 6:30. It's 6:45. Y'all still ain't got self-checkout open. Y'all ain't got it open at all. Like, ain't the woman walking around ain't doing nothing. She's supposed to be activating it and doing all these other things that you do to get it set up. And I'm like, but you want to sit up here and tell me that y'all want to get rid of the janitorial services and replace them with robots. See, that's what kills me with corporations like this. Y'all want to spend all the money on all this technology, but y'all never think about the bigger picture. The bigger picture is y'all still got to pay these technicians to come in when it go haywire. You still got to pay somebody to sit up there and keep up the regular maintenance on it, the regular random maintenance on these robots. Like, this is the job I'm at right now. They got robots. And so they've eliminated basically like a person trying to eliminate 2 people, and they're trying to work the mule out of 1 person, and the robot is trash. And it's just like, these robots ain't doing nothing but making the job harder. When it was just the people doing the work, you got things out, you had less of a situation, and now y'all love to sit up here talking about, oh, we need to make these numbers, but whatever. And I'm like, the numbers don't get made, and then you want to look at us sideways like, okay, why aren't the numbers being made? Because the robot was down. Because the robot is trash. That's why. Y'all, like at my job, let me vent for like 1 minute. Y'all, at my job, they love to try to tell you it ain't about the numbers, but it is. They do a shift system. I work on first shift. So second and third shift will come in and run the same lines that we run or whatever, and they'll make better numbers than us. But they never fail to understand or take into account, hey, on first shift, they had mechanics over here trying to work on these situations that are not good, to the point of where a customer, if the customer were to get a hold of this product, we could lose the contract. But we'll go on second shift, you'll go through all that stuff. We end up having stuff come back, and we got to go through it because they let all kinds of beyond defective stuff go through. It's like, how did y'all not see this? Apparently, y'all aren't doing y'all checks to see what's supposed to be going on. These random quality checks you're supposed to do on your shift. Yeah, y'all making all these numbers, but y'all got all these defects, all these things that do not go and are not supposed to go. But anyway, y'all, I digress. Upside. But yeah, I just think that's trifling. That's not cool how they do that. And, you know, it's not, everybody loves trying to think a robot is just going to be the be all end all, and it's just not. Robots are not amazing like that in all situations. And most of the situations where I've seen robots, it's made the situation worse than what it was, y'all. And I'm just like, okay, that's stupid. So one of the other things that I posted on my social media was that an engineer invented a shelter, or rather shelters, for homeless people that retain heat during the winter. And they have a picture of it, and it kind of looks like a big mailbox without the post on the ground. I can see how it does that. And it would shield them from rain, snow, and all that stuff. I think that is amazing. I have been wondering for years, how can people really rid the world of homelessness? And I mean, even though there are people out there who have the funds, everybody's not going to want to give up off, are not going to want to come up off of their money. But at the same time, like I said, there are people out there who have the funds. But since that's not an option for them, and I know it's not an option for me because I could barely take care of myself, it's like, what can we do as far as the housing portion, if nothing else? And I think this is amazing. I hope that someone will be able to roll that out and compensate this person handsomely for that, for everyone that is actually, you know, produced. You put it out there and you put them all over the United States of America, and then let it start to go internationally, excuse me. But anyway, y'all, hopefully I ain't bore y'all too bad with this 41 minutes. Anyway, I might come back later on, I'm not sure. But anyway, I hope y'all are having a wonderful weekend and that everything is going well with you. Comment down in the comment section and let me know if you like this video, what you thought I should have been discussing as well, or what you wanted me to discuss. And I will see about if it's something that I'm interested in discussing. I'll give you my take on that. Anyway, thank you very much for watching this thoughts post. Y'all have a good weekend.